Have you ever wondered if your thoughts could change your life? Well, they can. Louise Hay, a famous teacher, said our minds are like magic wands for our future. Think about it. Everything around us started as a thought. The chair you're sitting on, the device you're using to watch this video, even the clothes you're wearing, all began as ideas in someone's head. Now imagine if you could use that same power to shape your own life. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the thing, many of us don't realize how powerful our thoughts are. We go through life thinking all sorts of things, good and bad, without realizing we're actually painting the picture of our future. It's like we're artists with the most amazing set of paints, but we don't know we're holding the brush. Louise Hay discovered this secret and spent her life teaching it to others. She found out that our thoughts are not just random things floating in our heads. They're actually like seeds we plant in the garden of our life. And just like real seeds, they grow into the experiences we have. Think about it this way. If you plant tomato seeds, you get tomatoes, not apples. In the same way, if you plant thoughts of success and happiness, that's what grows in your life. But if you're always thinking about problems and worries, guess what? You end up with more of those. Now you might be thinking, but I can't control my thoughts. And you're right, it's not easy. Our minds are like playful puppies, always running around and getting into trouble. But just like you can train a puppy, you can train your mind. It takes time and practice, but it's totally worth it. Louise Hay taught that life is like a big magic mirror. Whatever we think and believe about ourselves, the mirror of life reflects back to us. It's like when you smile at your reflection, and it smiles back. But this mirror doesn't just reflect your face, it reflects your whole life. If you think, I'm not good enough, the mirror says, you're right. Here's proof that you're not good enough. And then you might not get that job you wanted or that relationship you dreamed of. But if you think, I'm worthy of good things, the mirror says, you're right. Here's some good stuff coming your way. This might sound a bit weird at first. You might be thinking, but bad things happen to good people all the time. And you're right. Life can be tough sometimes. But Louise Hay wasn't saying that thinking good thoughts makes all the bad stuff magically disappear. What she meant was that our thoughts shape how we see and react to everything that happens to us. Let's say two people lose their jobs. One thinks, this is terrible. I'll never find another job. My life is over. The other thinks, this is a chance for a fresh start. I wonder what exciting opportunity will come next. Same situation, but completely different ways of thinking about it. And guess what? Those thoughts will lead to different actions and different outcomes. The mirror of life doesn't just reflect our thoughts about ourselves. It also reflects our thoughts about the world and other people. If you think the world is a scary, dangerous place, you'll probably notice all the bad news and overlook the good stuff. But if you think the world is full of opportunities and kind people, you'll start noticing more good things around you. This doesn't mean we should ignore problems or pretend everything is perfect. It's about finding a balance. We can acknowledge challenges while still believing in our ability to overcome them. We can see the problems in the world while also appreciating the beauty and kindness that exist. Now let's talk about what happens if we don't pay attention to our thoughts. Imagine you're in a boat, but you're not holding the oars. You're just drifting wherever the current takes you. That's what life is like when we don't watch our thoughts. we end up places we never meant to go, wondering how we got there. If we don't take charge of our thoughts, we might create a life we don't really want. We might stay stuck in jobs we don't like, relationships that don't make us happy, or situations that stress us out. Why? Because we keep thinking the same old thoughts, which lead to the same old actions, which create the same old results. But here's the exciting part. If we learn to guide our thoughts, we can make amazing things happen. It's like finally grabbing those oars and steering your boat where you want to go. When we start thinking in new ways, we start seeing new opportunities. We begin to act differently, and that leads to different results. For example, let's say you've always thought, "I'm not good with money." Because of that thought, you might avoid learning about finances, overspend without realizing it, or not ask for a raise at work. But what if you change that thought to, "I'm learning to be smart with money"? Suddenly, you might find yourself interested in reading about personal finance, tracking your spending, or feeling confident enough to negotiate a better salary. The stakes are high because our thoughts don't just affect one area of our lives, they influence everything. Our health, our relationships, our careers, our happiness, all of these are shaped by the thoughts we think day after day. But don't worry if you've had a lot of negative thoughts up until now. The great news is that you can start changing your thoughts at any time. Your past thoughts created your present, but your present thoughts are creating your future right now. Isn't that exciting? Think of it like this. Every thought is like a vote for the kind of future you want. Every time you think, "I can do this," you're voting for a future where you succeed. Every time you think, "People are kind," you're voting for a future filled with positive relationships. Of course, changing your thoughts isn't always easy. We all have habits of thinking that we've built up over years. But the good news is that with practice, we can create new thought habits. It's like learning a new language or a new skill. At first, it feels awkward and difficult, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. Now, you might be wondering, who is this Louise Hay, and why should I listen to her? Well, Louise Hay wasn't always a famous teacher. In fact, her early life was pretty tough. She came from a difficult background, faced abuse as a child, and had many challenges as a young woman. But she didn't let those experiences define her. Instead, she used them as motivation to find a better way of living. Louise Hay was born in 1926 in Los Angeles. As a young woman, she worked various jobs, including as a model. But her life really changed when she discovered the Church of Religious Science and started learning about the power of positive thinking. She realized that many of her problems came from negative beliefs she had about herself and the world. As she started to change her thoughts and beliefs, she noticed her life changing too. She became healthier, happier, and more successful. She was so excited about these changes that she wanted to share what she'd learned with others. In the 1970s, she began counseling people, helping them see how their thoughts were affecting their lives. One of the biggest challenges in Louise's life came in 1978 when she was diagnosed with cancer. Instead of giving in to fear, she used it as an opportunity to really put her beliefs to the test. She combined conventional medical treatment with a program of positive affirmations, visualization, nutrition, and other holistic approaches. Within 6 months, she was cancer-free. This experience convinced Louise even more of the power of our thoughts and beliefs. she wrote her first book, Heal Your Body, which explained how different thought patterns might be connected to various physical illnesses. This book became very popular, and people started asking her to teach them more. In 1984, Louise published her most famous book, You Can Heal Your Life. This book became a bestseller, selling over 50 million copies worldwide. In it, she explained her philosophy about the connection between our minds and our experiences. She taught people how to use affirmations and other techniques to change their thoughts and improve their lives. Louise didn't just write books. She also founded Hay House, a publishing company that has helped spread many other self-help and spiritual authors' work. She hosted radio and TV shows, led workshops, and continued to counsel people individually. What made Louise Hay special wasn't just her teachings, but the way she lived them. People who met her often talked about how kind, positive, and full of life she was, even into her later years. She showed that it's possible to overcome difficult circumstances and create a joyful, meaningful life. Louise passed away in 2017 at the age of 90, but her teachings continue to help millions of people around the world. She left behind a powerful message that we all have the ability to change our lives by changing our thoughts. One of the things that made Louise's teachings so popular was how simple and practical they were. She didn't use complicated language or hard-to-understand concepts. Instead, she talked about ideas in ways that anyone could understand and use in their daily life. For example, one of her most famous techniques was using affirmations. An affirmation is just a positive statement that you repeat to yourself. It might be something like, I love and accept myself exactly as I am, or I am worthy of good things in my life. Louise taught that by repeating these positive statements, we can gradually change our beliefs about ourselves and the world. She also emphasized the importance of self-love and self-acceptance. Louise believed that many of our problems come from not loving ourselves enough. She taught that when we learn to truly love and accept ourselves, it becomes much easier to create positive changes in our lives. Another important part of Louise's teaching was the idea of forgiveness. She believed that holding on to anger and resentment hurts us more than it hurts the person we're angry at. She taught techniques for letting go of old hurts and forgiving both ourselves and others. Louise Hay's life and teachings show us that it's never too late to change our lives. No matter what has happened in our past, we always have the power to choose new thoughts and create a better future. Her message was one of hope and empowerment, reminding us that we are not victims of our circumstances, but creators of our own lives. As we go through this video, we'll explore more of Louise Hay's ideas and how we can use them to shape our own futures. Remember, these aren't just nice theories. They're practical tools that have helped millions of people around the world. And they can help you too, if you're willing to give them a try. So are you ready to learn how to use your thoughts to create the future you want? Are you excited to discover the power that's been inside you all along? Let's continue on this journey together, exploring how we can use Louise Hay's teachings to transform our lives, one thought at a time. Let's talk about one of Louise Hay's biggest ideas, positive affirmations. Now you might be thinking, affirmations? Isn't that just saying nice things to yourself? Well, yes and no. Affirmations are more than just feel-good phrases. They're powerful tools that can actually change the way you think and feel about yourself and your life. So, what exactly is an affirmation? It's a positive statement that you repeat to yourself either out loud or in your mind. It's like planting a seed of positivity in your brain. For example, you might say, I am worthy of love and respect, or I am capable of achieving my goals. Now you might be thinking, but what if I don't believe these things? That's okay. The amazing thing about affirmations is that they work even if you don't fully believe them at first. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. In the same way, the more you repeat positive affirmations, the more your mind starts to accept them as true. Louise Hay believed that many of our problems come from negative self-talk. You know, those little voices in our heads that say things like, "You're not good enough," or "You'll never succeed." We often don't even realize we're thinking these things, but they can have a big impact on our lives. Affirmations are a way to counter these negative thoughts with positive ones. Here's how it works. When you repeat an affirmation, you're giving your brain a new message. At first, your mind might resist. It might say, "That's not true." But if you keep repeating the affirmation, your brain starts to consider it. It's like you're reprogramming your mind, replacing negative beliefs with positive ones. Louise suggested using affirmations throughout the day. You could say them when you wake up, while you're getting ready in the morning, or before you go to bed. You could write them down and stick them on your mirror or your fridge. The key is repetition. The more you say your affirmations, the more effective they become. But here's an important point. Affirmations work best when they feel good to you. If an affirmation feels false or uncomfortable, try adjusting it. For example, if saying "I am rich" feels too unbelievable, you could try "I am open to abundance in my life," or "I am learning to manage money wisely." Louise also taught that affirmations should be in the present tense, as if what you want is already happening. So instead of saying "I will be successful," you'd say, "I am successful." This helps your mind start creating that reality now, rather than pushing it off into the future. Remember, affirmations aren't magic spells. They won't instantly change your life. But they can change your thoughts, and as we've learned, changing your thoughts can change your life. It's like planting seeds in a garden. You don't see results right away, but if you keep watering and tending to those seeds, they'll eventually grow into beautiful flowers. Now let's talk about another important idea from Louise Hay, the importance of focusing on yourself. This might sound a bit selfish at first, but stick with me. It's actually one of the most powerful things you can do, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Louise taught that we often spend too much time worrying about other people, what they're doing, what they think of us, how we compare to them. But when we do this, we're giving away our power. We're letting other people's opinions and actions control how we feel and what we do. Instead, Louise said we should focus on our own lives, our own thoughts, and our own actions. Why? Because these are the things we can actually control. You can't change other people, but you can change yourself. And here's the amazing thing. When you change yourself, your whole world changes too. Think about it this way. Imagine you're in a room full of mirrors. If you're frowning, every mirror will show a frowning face. But if you smile, suddenly you're surrounded by smiling reflections. Your life is like that room of mirrors. When you change, everything around you seems to change too. This doesn't mean you should ignore other people or stop caring about them. It means that the best way to have a positive impact on the world is to start with yourself. When you work on becoming happier, healthier, and more positive, you naturally spread those good vibes to everyone around you. So how do you focus on yourself? Louise suggested several ways. First, pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. Notice when you're having negative thoughts about yourself or others. When you catch these thoughts, try to replace them with more positive ones. Second, take care of your physical health. Eat nourishing food, get enough sleep, and move your body in ways that feel good to you. Louise believed that loving your body was an important part of loving yourself. Third, do things that make you happy. Spend time on hobbies you enjoy. Surround yourself with people who make you feel good. Create a living space that you love being in. Fourth, set goals for yourself and work towards them. This gives you a sense of purpose and direction. Remember, these should be your goals, not what you think other people want for you. Fifth, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you make mistakes. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd show to a good friend. Now you might be thinking, but what about my responsibilities? I can't just focus on myself all the time. And you're right, we all have obligations to others. But Louise taught that when we take care of ourselves first, we're actually better able to take care of others. It's like on an airplane, where they tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. You can't pour from an empty cup. Now let's dive into one of Louise Hay's most exciting ideas: drawing your future. No, we're not talking about actually drawing with crayons, although that could be fun too. We're talking about using the power of your imagination to create a clear picture of the life you want. Louise believed that our minds are incredibly powerful. She taught that what we focus on tends to grow. So if we spend time really imagining the life we want, we're more likely to create that life. It's like giving our brain a blueprint to work from. So, how do you draw your future? It starts with using your imagination. Close your eyes and picture your ideal life as vividly as you can. What does your perfect day look like? Where are you living? What kind of work are you doing? Who are you spending time with? How do you feel? The key is to make this vision as detailed and real as possible. Use all your senses. What can you see? What can you hear? What can you smell? How does it feel to be living this ideal life? The more real you can make it in your mind, the more powerful this exercise becomes. Louise suggested doing this visualization exercise regularly. You could do it first thing in the morning to set a positive tone for your day, or you could do it before bed, letting your subconscious mind work on it while you sleep. Now you might be thinking, but isn't this just daydreaming? How does this actually help? Well, there are a few reasons why visualization is so powerful. First, it helps clarify what you really want. Often we have vague ideas about what we want in life. But when we try to visualize it in detail, we have to get specific. This can help us understand our true desires and priorities. Second, visualization helps build belief. When you keep picturing yourself living your ideal life, it starts to feel more possible. You begin to believe that you can actually achieve it. Third, visualization can motivate you to take action. When you have a clear picture of what you want, you're more likely to notice opportunities that can help you get there. You might find yourself naturally taking steps towards your vision. Fourth, visualization can help you stay positive and focused. When you're having a tough day, you can return to your vision to remind yourself of what you're working towards. It's like having a North Star to guide you. Louise also suggested combining visualization with affirmations. As you picture your ideal future, you could repeat affirmations that support that vision. For example, if you're visualizing yourself in your dream job, you might affirm, "I am worthy of success and fulfillment in my work." Remember, visualizing your future isn't about escaping from reality. It's about creating a clear intention for what you want to create. It's like an architect drawing plans for a house before it's built. The house isn't real yet, but the plans guide the entire building process. It's also important to stay open and flexible. Your vision might change over time as you grow and learn, and that's okay. The future you're drawing isn't set in stone. It's a living, evolving picture that you can adjust as you go along. Louise Hay's teachings about drawing your future remind us that we have the power to shape our lives. We're not just passive observers of our own stories. We're the authors, the artists, the creators. By using the power of our imagination, we can start creating the life we truly want to live. So why not give it a try? Take some time to really imagine your ideal future. Draw it in your mind with as much detail as you can. Then pay attention to how this vision influences your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. You might be surprised at how powerful this simple exercise can be in shaping your life. Practical exercise, putting it all together. Now that we've explored Louise Hay's powerful ideas, let's put them into practice with a simple exercise. This is something you can do right now, and it combines several of the principles we've discussed. Are you ready? Let's dive in. First, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed for a few minutes. Take a few deep breaths to relax your body and clear your mind. Now close your eyes and imagine your perfect day. Really let yourself dream big here. Don't worry about what's realistic or what other people might think. This is your vision, for your eyes only. As you picture this perfect day, use all your senses. What do you see around you? What sounds do you hear? Are there any particular smells or tastes? How does your body feel? Pay attention to the emotions you're experiencing in this perfect day. Are you feeling joy, peace, excitement, or contentment? Now, think about who you are in this perfect day. What qualities do you embody? Are you confident, kind, creative, or strong? How do you interact with others? How do you feel about yourself? Take a moment to really soak in this vision. Feel as if you're actually living this perfect day right now. Let yourself enjoy it fully. Now, based on this vision, we're going to create some affirmations. Think about the main aspects of your perfect day and the person you are in that vision. Create positive, present tense statements that reflect these things. For example, I am confident and capable in my work. I am surrounded by loving and supportive relationships. I take excellent care of my health and feel vibrant every day. I am creative and express myself freely. Create at least 3 affirmations that resonate with you. Remember, they should feel good when you say them, even if you don't fully believe them yet. Finally, open your eyes and write down your vision and your affirmations. Keep this somewhere you can see it daily. Commit to reading your affirmations out loud at least once a day, preferably while visualizing your perfect day. This exercise combines visualization, affirmations, and focusing on yourself. By doing this regularly, you're giving your mind a clear picture of what you want and reinforcing it with positive statements. You're literally drawing your future and planting the seeds for it to grow. Even as we work on positive thinking and visualization, negative thoughts can still pop up. This is completely normal. Remember, we're not trying to never have a negative thought again. We're learning to handle these thoughts in a way that doesn't let them control us. Louise Hay had some great advice for dealing with negative thoughts. First, it's important to become aware of your negative thoughts. Many of us have negative self-talk running in the background of our minds all day, but we don't even notice it. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue. What are you saying to yourself throughout the day? When you catch a negative thought, don't judge yourself for having it. Instead, thank your mind for trying to protect you, because that's often what negative thoughts are trying to do. And then choose a different thought. Louise often suggested saying, "Thank you for sharing," to negative thoughts, and then replacing them with a positive affirmation. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never be able to do this," you could say to yourself, "Thank you for sharing. I choose to believe that I am capable of learning and growing." This way, you're not fighting against the negative thought, which often just makes it stronger, but gently redirecting your mind to a more helpful perspective. Another technique Louise suggested was to ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? If it's not helping you, why keep thinking it? You have the power to choose a different thought. Remember, changing your thought patterns takes time and practice. Be patient and kind with yourself. Celebrate the times when you successfully shift a negative thought, no matter how small it might seem. Every positive thought is a step in the right direction. Louise also emphasized the importance of self-love in overcoming negative thoughts. Many of our harshest thoughts are directed at ourselves. By cultivating self-love and self-acceptance, we create a strong foundation that can withstand negative thinking. Try looking in the mirror each day and saying, "I love and accept you just as you are." It might feel awkward at first, but over time, it can have a powerful effect on your self-image and your thoughts. Lastly, Louise suggested surrounding yourself with positivity. This could mean spending time with supportive people, reading uplifting books, listening to motivational podcasts, or putting positive affirmations around your home. The more you immerse yourself in positivity, the easier it becomes to maintain positive thoughts. As we wrap up our exploration of Louise Hay's teachings, it's important to remember that this is just the beginning of your journey. Changing your thoughts and shaping your future is not a one-time event, but a lifelong process of growth and discovery. Louise Hay's message was always one of hope and empowerment. She believed that no matter where you are in life, no matter what challenges you face, you always have the power to choose your thoughts and thereby influence your life's direction. Remember, every day is a new opportunity to practice these principles. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. The key is to keep going, to keep choosing positive thoughts, to keep visualizing the future you want, and to keep loving yourself along the way. As you continue on this path, you might find that your goals and dreams evolve. That's perfectly normal and even wonderful. As we grow and change, our visions for our lives often change too. Stay open to new possibilities and don't be afraid to redraw your future as you go along. Also, remember that while we've focused a lot on individual growth, these principles can have a ripple effect on the world around you. As you become more positive and loving towards yourself, you'll likely find that you have more positivity and love to share with others. You might inspire people around you to start their own journeys of self-discovery and growth. We've covered a lot in this video, from understanding the power of our thoughts to using affirmations, from focusing on ourselves to visualizing our future, and from overcoming negative thoughts to continuing our journey of growth. These are powerful tools that have the potential to transform your life. Louise Hay's teachings remind us that we are not victims of our circumstances, but creators of our own lives. We have the power to shape our future through our thoughts and beliefs. It might not always be easy, but it's always possible. So, as you go forward from here, remember, your thoughts shape your future. Choose them wisely. Love yourself completely, and never stop dreaming of the life you truly want to live. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Louise Hay's powerful ideas. I hope you found inspiration and practical tools to help you on your own journey. Remember, you have the power to create a beautiful life. It all starts with a single thought. What will you choose to think today?